Well, 2 years ago when Notre Dame won here, Coach Brown said after the game, he looked at the both offensive and defensive lines and felt like Notre Dame was just a little bit better than you guys were up front. How do you feel like since then? Do you feel like, going into Saturday that you guys are even on par with them, or if not better?
It comes with execution. These past 2 years, definitely competing against Notre Dame. They've been a great team, and they've always come out with the win. But, like going on as to now, like we've been working really hard as to staying intense and like working on, both sides of the ball in the trenches of like making sure that we have that physicality, the same physicality that they brought to us, 2 years ago when they came to our stadium. So I think the emphasis of this year is just intensity and consistency when it comes to, the trenches on both sides of the ball.
When you watch them on film, do you still see the same physicality, not just up front, but in their front seven?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They bring it every time, there were some past games where, like, they didn't perform as well, but still, like, they're a physical team and they're a good team, they're Notre Dame. But, it comes to us, focusing on us and making sure that we have everything in our power, because we know that we have great players too. So it comes to just going on the field and executing everything that we've learned and working on.
That seemed like something Mac talked about a lot, like from 2 years ago. It seemed like it was one of his major talking points. Did you guys hear about that a lot? Like, they kind of whipped you up front? Like,
absolutely. Like every year, like since then, it's just been like consistency. It's just been the main focus, and just like also the word behind that is just execution, because we know everything that we need to do. It's just all about like doing it at a consistent rate, perfectly.
Where have you been playing this week and last week? I know you've kind of bounced from right guard to right tackle.
I'm still moving around at right guard and right tackle. As of right now, they still have me as the starting right tackle, but I'm ready for coach to move me anywhere on the field. Today I had a little bit of time at left tackle, so who knows what could happen. So.
Is Spencer playing some guard now, or Adorno?
Spencer and Adorno are both in the rotation of playing guard. To see who's going to be playing this Saturday is still to be known, but they're both working hard. They're both getting after it. The whole line's getting after it. So.
Which do you like better, tackle or guard?
I like both of them.
What's the challenge switching from guard to tackle? It's a different position.
Definitely just like the certain techniques that you have to have when it comes to setting at the pass pro when it comes to like tackle, and then transitioning to guard. Not getting so far back off the line of scrimmage. So. It just comes with like Coach has been saying, like consistency and just executing what he puts man.
Coach Longer said yesterday that you're physical enough to play a guard and athletic enough to play a tackle. What does that mean when you're physical enough to play a guard and athletic enough to play a tackle?
I feel like when it comes to playing that guard, there's a certain type of physicality that you need to bring, because there's a lot of strong D tackles out there that are going to be inside. And then when it comes to tackle, just being able to get those quick guys, set out there as fast as possible, lock them up. So that's really.
William, what has Corey Gaynor added to the O-line, and what's it been like playing with him this year?
Corey Gaynor is like one of the best people that I've been around. He takes this game very seriously, and he's on the field. He's basically the one that's telling us what we need to do, and like also being a leadership role. In fact, he doesn't let any of us get off, when it comes to like anything that we do, even one small mistake. He's just like coach, he's honest. So I feel like that's brought us together, and like also in terms of like staying consistent and executing what we need to do. So in terms of like Corey, I say he's been a great addition, and we just love him.
Why do you think Corey doesn't want to talk to the media?
I feel like Corey, he's not about talking, he's more about showing. And when it comes to showing, he likes to show what he does on the field, and it speaks for him too, because whenever you see him on film, he's out there giving 100% every time.
Okay. Tell me when we would love to talk to him if he wants to.
yeah, put in a good word.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
William, I wanted to ask you about Omarion, and he just got here not that long ago, and it seems like, well, obviously his talent and his ability is pretty obvious, but in terms of his learning and his development, what have you seen from him the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months, just where he is just sort of going along and trying to figure this thing out?
I've seen that he's working hard just like everyone else. I say that his work ethic is consistent. He goes out there, he doesn't say much, he just gets work done, and whenever he needs a correction, he fixes it right there immediately. So I say for Omarion, you know, he's a great player and he's a good kid, and he just wants to do everything right, which is what we need for this team.
Coach Longo said yesterday that the need to be more consistent running the ball on first and second down was a point of emphasis this last week. You guys have popped some big runs on first down and a couple on second, but what is the key to being consistent, getting 4 and 5 in those situations?
I would say just for the offense, just moving off the ball and also staying, like, when it comes to like being consistent, just like knowing exactly what we need to do each time and executing at 100%. So I feel like when it comes to that, like, we've been working on that for the past 3 weeks now, and I feel like we're getting better, you know, these past 2 years up until now. So yeah, when it comes to that, I would just say just consistency and just like a lot of work ethic.
In what ways do you feel like the Georgia State game, being put in a position where, you know, you had a guy out and you had to kind of shift things around on the offensive line, what do you feel like that game did for you guys in terms of confidence and, you know, just kind of knowing you can plug in moving forward?
I think that speaks to the coaching and also just to how everyone is coming together and always focused on one goal. And I feel like that the whole line as of now, like, we're all just focused and locked in on what we need to do. And like, we know that whoever needs a rest or like is hurt, they can step up immediately right after and just get the job done.
Do you sense the gravity of this game? Does it feel big already? Like you know, it's Notre Dame.
Well, absolutely. I mean, every game's a big game because we want to win every game. And you know, Notre Dame is a great team and they have really great players. But you know, we go out this practice field and we think about Notre Dame, but we don't talk about Notre Dame all the time because we know that in the end it's about us and how we can get better because we know all the talent that we have on our team. So as long as we stick to that, then it'll show on the field and we'll get the results that we want.
Does this feel at all like a measuring stick game? I know Notre Dame is coming in maybe an atypical record for them, but they do still have the 53rd ranked defense in the country and far not the best defense that you all will have faced this season.
I would say that just in terms of just like coming back to like us, like, we understand that they're a great defense and that they're going to be flying off the ball. So the emphasis in practice is just being physical and bringing it right back to them. So we know how important this game is and we know what kind of defense they have. So we're just going to execute everything that we need to do.
When they came in 2 years ago, there were, I think, 7,000 people allowed in the stadium, if I'm correct, because of the COVID. It's going to be full Saturday. Is there an element of excitement knowing that, okay, you're going to have an element of 12th man for you this weekend when they come in?
Well, absolutely. You know, we love when the fans come out and we just we're gonna take it all in and use that against them. And I feel like, you know, with all the fans that we have with a sold out crowd, that it's going to be a great environment, especially for the young guys. But for us older guys, we know what we need to do, and we've been in these type of situations before. We just got to execute what we need to do out there.
Who would you say is the biggest win you've had since you've been here? Like, in terms of like a statement win, because obviously Notre Dame is a name brand program.
True. I would say for like my year, it was when we beat Wake Forest last year when we rushed the field. That was one of my favorite experiences because we had been working hard all that week and we knew that Wake Forest was going to be a good team. Then we came in there and did our job and we came out with the win.
Right, they were unbeaten.
Yeah.
All right, you guys good?
Thanks, Will.
Thank you. Appreciate it.